confidence is not something that you're born with. It's something that you build in yourself. And you'd be surprised to find out that it's actually not nearly as hard to become confident as you might think. Whether it's with money, your career, or sports, it's really as simple as identifying what is the goal you want to achieve and what is the smallest next step you are willing to take toward achieving that goal. Lack of confidence often grows because we don't hold ourselves accountable to doing the things that we want to do. We create a desire in ourselves, we set a goal, and then we don't follow through with it. And oftentimes, the reason we don't follow through with that goal is because it feels too big, it feels too far away, it feels too impossible. So even though we have a moment of inspiration where we become really excited about the idea of the future outcome, once we start walking down that path, we fall off because it starts to feel too big, too far away, and again, impossible. I don't want to trick you into thinking that this is some kind of fake it till you make it philosophy, although there might be an element of that is involved. Ultimately, it's about creating really small tactical steps. And if you struggle to make one step forward, it really just means you haven't made the step small enough. I am going to share an example from my son, and I know it's gonna feel like it's not related to something that you're dealing with, but I'm telling you, the steps that we use to coach him in this one area of his life, I found is actually the key to coaching anybody through building confidence in any area of their life. So the story with my son is that he had significant anxiety of fear of being in the batter's box. So he is part of a club baseball team. He's 10 years old when this story takes place. And he got beamed by the ball pretty hard a few times from some wild pitches from other 10-year-olds. And it hurt, and it created in him a fear, an anxiety, and a nervousness. There's a lot to unpack with that, but I want to talk specifically about how we coaxed him into building his confidence in the batter's box. We spoke to him about what is the first thing that you have to do to be able to start hitting the ball again. And the truth was, the first thing was to just stay in the box, just stay in the batter's box. So for a few weeks, over league nights and tournaments, we didn't ask him to even swing the bat. We were like, we don't care if you go out looking. We just want you to stay in the box. That's the only goal you have. As he would go into the batter's box, he would feel the urge to step back, to lean out of the box when the pitch was coming, and he forced himself to just stay in the box. After he mastered that, we were like, okay, what's the next smallest step? And he's like, I gotta start hitting the ball. And we're like, no. Actually, the next step is just to keep your eye on the ball. Watch the pitch. So he was staying in the box, but he was like closing his eyes. He was afraid. He thought it was gonna hit him. And so first, stay in the box. Next, keep your eye on the ball. Just keep your eyes open. Just watch it. Just watch what happens. And I'll be honest with you guys, we told him, hey, if it hits you, let it hit you, because part of it for him was understanding that he could survive the hit. The next step was to swing the bat. We did not care if he hit the ball. It wasn't about hitting the ball. It was about staying in the batter's box, keeping your eyes open the whole time, and then swinging so that you were going out swinging and not going out looking. Once he was able to get through all of those steps, and it was not a short period of time. I'm not saying this was like, oh, one game he just stayed in the box, and the next game he kept his eyes on the ball, and the next game he was swinging at every pitch that was not an obvious ball. No, that took like probably a month and a half, 2 months of playing for him to get to that place. Luckily, baseball's a long season where we live. And in doing that, we finally got to the place where naturally, without us even be like, now hit the ball, he just started hitting the ball. And his favorite thing is to run bases. So when he gets on base, because he's running and he's sprinting to first, man, it was so rewarding to him. So now he's got this tremendous feedback loop of, hey, now not only am I staying in the box, not only am I not terrified of the ball hitting me, because I've now learned that I can survive being hit. Not only am I keeping my eyes open, I'm actually hitting the ball and making it to first. And by the end of the season, he actually got, I want to say 2 doubles and 1 triple, which was huge. And I just want you guys to understand that this is how we can accomplish any goal that's terrifying us. We just have to break it down into the smallest possible step that we can cope with. And if you have created a step that is too big, you're unwilling to take it, means you haven't made it small enough yet. You just got to keep making it smaller until you get to a place where you're willing to do it. and then confidence will grow. Because what confidence really is it's telling yourself you're going to do something and then actually doing it. Once you are in the process of saying, I commit to this and I'm going to follow through, this is where we start to develop confidence in ourselves. And so nobody says that the thing you follow through on has to be a big, crazy, magnificent thing. The idea is to go from having this like super inspired, grandiose idea and then falling off into this like feeling of despair because it's too big and you start to think you're never going to be able to do it, and deciding, well, I can do it if I take small enough steps. A phrase that I heard in a book a long time ago that has become one of those sort of undercurrent mantras of my life is, one step and then the next will get me where I'm going. For that, you really got to understand two things. One, where are you going? And two, what is the size of the step? And can I take it? And if you can't take it, it just means the step is too big. Make a smaller step and take that step instead. But it doesn't matter how big, if it's an inch or if it's 2 feet of a step, that step is still progress. And the goal is to have an idea of where you want to go and make progress toward it. And that will build in you confidence. It's a natural outflow of taking action towards something that you want. So what might that look like in a financial situation? For a lot of the people that I've worked with, it might be just logging into your online banking and looking at where your accounts are actually at. Just logging in and looking might be step one. The actions you need to take, you actually know what they are already. It's just a matter of making the steps small enough that even though you feel fear, anxiety, and nervousness, you're willing to take that small step anyway because it's not that big of a step and you know you can at least do that. When I was young and I hated running, I used to say to myself, I can do anything for 10 minutes. I can do anything for 10 minutes. If I have to run for 10 minutes, I can run for 10 minutes. It might be the slowest run on the planet, but I can do it for 10 minutes. And that is how I got through the mile run. I could do anything for 10 minutes. And if that feels too big for you, maybe you say I can do anything for 5 minutes. I can look at my balances for 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, I can log into online banking and export the data that I need. And then tomorrow for 5 minutes, I can actually look at that data and start to decide, what's in it. What am I actually spending my money on? I can start to review where my money's going. You should take these small steps one after the other to give you the clarity you need so that you can make good decisions on where you want to go. But you really can start very small and start building that confidence so that eventually you're paying off that debt and you are saving for that vacation, you're getting the down payment for your house. Whatever the thing is that feels so far away financially that you think you'll never be able to get there. And lastly, I would encourage you to find an accountability partner because the fears that we have, the things that hold us back from taking action, very often they're rooted in lies that we believe about ourselves. And the fastest way to erode a lie is to tell somebody what you think about yourself. I learned this really recently for the 20 millionth time where I admitted something to my husband and he's like, that's not true. And I was like, oh my gosh, now that you tell me you're right, it's not true. You actually just helped me remember that I'm lying to myself or realize that I'm lying to myself on something that felt really, really big and really, really true. But once I told somebody, it was like light, it got light. Like it was like a dark thing and then it got lightened up and I realized it wasn't what I thought it was, that I was misunderstanding what was really going on. And so having that accountability partner, somebody that you trust where you can share these tensions, these fears, these lies with, that person can start to, I really believe that even just by telling somebody else, you start to bring light to it and you start to realize it's much more fixable and much more manageable than you thought. But in addition to that, they can start to speak truth to you because sometimes we do need to hear the truth from somebody else. All right, guys, what do you think about today's content? Leave a comment below. Let me know, what is the thing that you are going to do? What is the small step that you are going to take? And check out these other videos that YouTube is recommending to you. I will see you in the next one.